Learning how to be successful is like knowing the combination to a lock. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, rich or poor, young or old, in one part of the country or another. If you know the numbers and you enter it in the correct order, that lock has to open. If we really tick the boxes on all of these, then you can't not be successful. It's impossible for you to fail. Focusing on the lack is always going to kill your dreams. So today we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the top manifesting mistake to avoid. We're going to look at how to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired outcome. And we're going to talk about practical exercises for manifesting abundance and success, because we have to do the work. We have to do the work. When we're talking about manifesting success, we're talking about all areas of your life. So health, relationships, finances, career, free time, what you do with your vocation, your gift to the world, your contribution, and also your spiritual practice. So for everyone, it looks different. And so we've all heard about manifestation. We've all heard about secrets to success. We've all heard the law of attraction. And so we're going to dive deeper into those in practical ways in this group, in ways that actually works and works for the long run, that's sustainable, that's repeatable, that is long lasting. So it's not just a one and done thing, because everyone is manifested, whether or not you've even known what you were doing. You've manifested before, but you may not have known what you were doing. So we're going to dive deep into all the steps. Now, learning how to be successful is like knowing the combination to a lock. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, rich or poor, young or old, in one part of the country or another. If you know the numbers and you enter it in the correct order, that lock has to open. And what does that mean? It means that if you are missing a number, will that lock open? It won't open. You need every single number. And if you have all the right numbers and you enter it in the wrong order, will that lock open? It won't open. And if you quickly move past a number or you're slightly off, will that lock open? Again, no, it won't. And so knowing how to be successful, it's like knowing the combination. You need to have the right numbers. You need to enter it in the right order. And you need to just be very diligent about entering those numbers. And so that's what we're going to be doing here. You know, J. Paul Getty was once one of the richest men in America. He's an oil tycoon. And he was interviewed by Time magazine, and they asked him, what's the secret to success? And he said three things. Number one, get up early. Number two, work hard. And number three, simply find oil. Now we would laugh at that thinking, well, yeah, lucky him, he found oil. But really what we want to do is find our oil. When we talk about manifestation in every area of your life, it's like, what brings you joy? What brings you life in any area? In any area. And your oil is going to be different from my oil. Your vision is going to be different from your friend's vision, from your partner's vision, from your client's vision. Everybody's vision, everybody's oil is what draws them and brings them alive. And so being successful is about finding what brings you joy, what brings you to life, because that's what you're meant to be doing. And so there's actually more than three. There are definitely more than three steps to being successful. I know it sounds really simple, but there's actually a number of steps. And I would say if we're going to break down all the steps, we're talking about 55, 56 that I've looked at, that I've thought, you know what, if we really tick the boxes on all of these, then you can't not be successful. It's impossible for you to fail. And so as we dive into how to manifest success, we're going to look at all of these steps and we're going to explore them more. And those of you who are in my mastermind or who I work one-on-one with, you'll have an opportunity to really put these into practice and get a lot more support from me. But by being in this group, you'll actually get really all the nuggets, the juicy stuff that will help you to start to see success in your life. So the first thing I want to bring up is the top manifesting mistake to avoid. And this is something that I see people who start to create visions, people who start to look at manifesting in their life, they're really good at dreaming. I was a great dreamer. I dreamt of the stars and the moon and everything growing up, and that's not enough. And that's not enough. So we could start to have a dream, but then what happens is when you have a dream, okay, and by definition, a dream is something that you're not living into just yet. So it's not your reality, it's not your life, it's not your experience, it's not your past, it's something that's new. And by definition, new is something uncomfortable, it's scary. And so when you go to grow, because a vision requires us to grow, and you start to create that vision and dream big, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, what initially happens is that old you, that old paradigm, that old belief system will come in and say, no, who do you think you are? That's too tough. That's too hard. That's impossible. You've never done this before. You've never, you've tried before and you've failed. And, well, how are you going to get to $1 million when you can't, you don't even have enough to pay for bills this month? How are you going to create, this incredible relationship when your husband just cheated on you and left you? How are you going to have vital, full health when you've got this diagnosis that the doctor is saying is never going to leave you? And so what happens when we start to manifest success is, and what gets in the way is when we focus on what's not there. Focusing on the lack is always going to kill your dreams. Focusing on the missing piece, focusing on the lack is going to kill your opportunity to bring in that vision. So one of the biggest mistakes in manifesting is to focus on what you lack instead of what you desire. So this mindset creates a negative vibration, which can hinder your ability to manifest. It gets in the way. It gets in the way because you will not manifest anything you haven't experienced, envisioned, lived into thousands of times before. So you want to ask yourself, are you living more in your vision, what you want, or are you living more in the lack, what you don't want, the current conditions, the bank account, the relationship, the health diagnosis? That's because whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you always get what you focus on. So we want to focus on what we want, not what we don't want. And so how do we do that? Everyone says, well, Trez, that's easy for you to say, but I don't have money to pay my bills, or I am in this situation where I don't know what I'm going to do next year, or I'm in this in these problems. And so that's part of the discipline. That's part of the discipline. That's part of the work that's required in order for you to manifest success. Henry David Thoreau says, stand guard at the portal of your mind. And so we need to discipline ourselves to focus on what we want versus focusing on what we don't want, focusing on what's missing, focus on the fact that we don't have something right now. And when you know 100% that you're going to get whatever you focus on, then we start to learn by experience to shift our focus, to shift that energy from saying, nope, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, and I'm going to go down the path of what I want to create. And here's the thing, everyone thinks 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. And out of those 60 to 70,000 thoughts that we think in one day, 95% of them are the same thoughts as the day before. And out of those thoughts that we keep playing over and over again in our mind, 80% of them are negative. 80% of them are focused on what's missing, what's not there, what could go wrong, how things could be messed up, how I don't deserve it, or I can't have it. And so focusing on the lack will absolutely hinder your ability to manifest. So the second point that I want to talk about is how to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired outcome. And so one point I want to stress here is, again, focusing on what we want more than what we don't want. One of the tools, just one of the tools, I know Law of Attraction, The Secret only talks about this. And I talk about it a lot because it's a starting point. You cannot get to the end line unless you start. And you cannot keep moving forward until you have this piece of the puzzle. Nothing works without this. Now, without this, you just start to go through the daily motions. You start to go through the motions in life, and then you look back and you ask yourself, how did I even get here? So I emphasize this a lot because it's required, and we have to get in touch with this tool. But it's only one step. So you don't want to just live here. So the one step I'm talking about, which those of you who work with me already know, it's visualize your desired outcome. Again, visualization is a powerful tool to help align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired outcome. So we need to take time each day to visualize your desired outcome as if it already has happened. I want you to feel the emotions of success, feel the emotions of abundance, feel the emotions of perfect health, feel the emotions of having that incredible relationship in your life. And when I talk about visualization, it's really embodying all the senses. So what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you tasting? What are you experiencing? What are you feeling in your vision? And it's a required practice every single day, because you have a life. And in this life, you may not have perfect health. You may not have money in the bank. You may not be able to, say that you have the most incredible relationship. You may not be able to, to buy that dream home you want. There are certain constraints that you may be in. You may not be in the career of your choice. And so you're living, your 16 hours of waking days in this life that isn't quite what you want. You have to spend time in the life that you do want, because that's what you're going to create. This is why people continue to create the same thing over and over again, because that's what they focus on. They're focusing on the rigmarole of their life. So tomorrow is just going to be like another version of today. Next week is going to be another version of today. I can tell what you're focused on by your behavior, by your actions, and by your emotions. And I can also predict what your life will be like a year from now, based on those same things, by what you're focusing on. Now, those of you who are committed to changing, then you know that you have the ability to not only change your mind about what you want, but also you have the ability to change your reality. You can absolutely change your reality and move into that desired outcome by focusing on what you want. And most people will say, well, I have this dream job, but I'm stuck in this dead end job where people are backstabbers and people are mean and people don't really, X, Y, Z. Well, how do you bring your best self to that situation and focus on what you want versus what you don't want? Because if you buy into the negative experience of that job during the day, that's going to be draining. That's going to kill your self-worth and self-esteem. That's going to kill your vision. That's going to kill your drive to build something better. But when you can be in this current position now and also feel the possibility of being in your dream job, that's when you're halfway there. That's when that dream job will just be magnetized to you. That's when you'll know all you need to do is just keep moving forward, just keep dreaming, just keep opening up to that vision, keep taking action. And obviously there's a number of steps in between, and you'll be able to live into the life that you desire, not way out in the future, but a lot faster than you can ever even imagine. And I want to dive into visualization. That's going to be the practical exercise. I was going to share a different one, but I really feel like this is, since we've been talking a lot about visualization, this is going to be really important. So practical exercises for manifesting abundance and success. Visualization. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Visualization is a technique that involves creating that mental image of your desired outcome. And again, it's not just a picture, but it's living that life as if you're living it right now. So visualization is where we close your eyes and you visualize your desired outcome in vivid details. What are you doing? See it as a movie. See it as a movie. And there's, we're going to talk about associating and dissociating, where you're looking through your own eyes and where you're seeing your body in this picture. And so both are valuable. And as we go deeper into it, we'll talk about the difference between the two. Right now, it doesn't matter. Do whatever's comfortable for you. But I want you to close your eyes and visualize your desired outcome in vivid detail. What are you hearing? What are the sounds around you? What are you tasting? What are people telling you? What are you wearing? I've shared so many stories with my clients of people who have created some incredible experiences in their life. And they'll all tell you, I was here before. I was here before. And not just one time, not just twice, not even 10 times, but they were there thousands of times before. So much so where, Olympic, gold medal winners will tell you that they can visualize, they were able to see what they were wearing as they were standing on that podium accepting that gold medal. And they, looked down and they could see the shorts that they were wearing, and they saw it in their mind's eye. And when they were on that podium accepting that gold medal, sure enough, they were wearing the exact same shorts they had visualized thousands of times before. The American flag draped over the shoulder, and feeling what that feels like, having that gold medal placed over their neck and feeling the weight of that around their shoulders. He had seen that thousands and thousands of times before. And that's what he's created. I had a client who said his dream was to retire. He wanted to retire. And I said, great. What does that look like? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? And he's all, well, I'm retired. I'm not working anymore. And as you dive into this, we don't focus on what we don't want, and we don't see a non-image as an image. And so when you visualize, there has to be some reality to it. Again, like you're in a movie. And so I kind of pressed him a little bit, and he says, I'm sitting on the beach and I've got a Corona in one hand, and I think it was like a pina colada on the other. And I'm staring out in the ocean, and I'm sitting on a beach chair in the sand. And sure enough, I think it was like 2-3 years later, he's like, guess what? He's like, I'm sitting on the beach, and I just found myself, and it was kind of shocking. I just found myself sitting on the beach, staring at the ocean with a Corona in one hand and a pina colada in the other. That's the power of this mental image. That's the power of living into it. And again, we have to outdo that energy of the lack. We have to outdo the energy of the problems. We have to outdo the energy of the life that we've already known, and override it with the life that we want to create for yourself. And so when you close your eyes and you visualize your desired outcome over and over again until it becomes clear, until it becomes real, until it becomes so vivid, it's like you're living in that already. And you want to see yourself in that reality. Feel the emotions. So many people are talking now about the emotions, but the emotions has always been a thing. You cannot create anything without emotions. Why do we have trauma? It's because an experience happens and there's a lot of emotions to it, so it sticks. And that trauma creates more of the same kind. And so the emotions, let's use that for a powerful place, for the powerful way of creating success for ourselves. And so feel the emotions of already having that reality. And this technique can help you align your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions towards your goal. Now, remember, it's just one step. It's just one step. People get stuck in this and they're like, I visualize all day and I don't have my dream life. I'm not sitting on my yacht. I'm not in my Porsche. I don't have, it's like, that's the first step. But without this step, it's like, you can't even go further. You can't even go further. When I work with my clients, it's like, we have to get really clear on the visualization of what it is you want to create. And then we're able to break that down into actionable steps, into goals. It's like I always say, visions for God, goals are for you, for the physical. But something has to drive us forward. And as you visualize, what happens is you activate your reticular activating system. And I know, we've talked about that a lot in our masterminding and with my clients, is you'll start to notice those opportunities, those resources, those steps along the way that start to draw you towards that goal, that vision, that dream that you have. And you'll start to say yes to them. You'll start to say yes to them because the old you that never lived that life before is used to recoiling from them, is used to saying, I'm not ready. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. This doesn't fit my world. This doesn't fit my paradigm. And so number one, we don't even notice. We don't even, right now, a lot of people are going through some financial hardships. And a lot of people are seeing these as great opportunities because they have a different reticular activating system. And that reticular activating system is like a heat-seeking missile. It sets a target and it's going to find that target and go right towards it. And so when your vision is to create wealth and take advantage of opportunities, then you're going to find the opportunities. If your paradigm or what you're focusing on is, I failed, I'm going to keep failing, money is hard, you have to have money to make money, it's, the economy's bad, all that stuff, then your reticular activating system is going to go find that experience of where you lose more money or where you fail or where you invest in the wrong thing at the wrong time. And you end up, again, going down the wrong path. And here's a little bonus. I wasn't going to share this, but since it's our first call, I'm super excited, and I want to give you kind of a little added piece to that reticular activating system that most people don't know. One of the other steps we're going to talk about is really getting into that centered, powerful place. That's where you become in tune with infinite possibilities. That's when you connect with all the opportunities, the possibilities, the where nothing's been created, where everything has been created. And the way you do that in getting centered, getting in touch with that is and shutting out the physical, going internal, connecting with God source, connecting with universal source, whatever it is you call it, connecting with infinity. What happens is that reticular activating system starts to bring things out of thin air. Literally starts to bring things to you out of thin air. So it's not like, oh, I found this opportunity that's always been there. It literally will come out of seemingly nowhere. And we call those miracles, but it's not miracles. It's you've tapped into another dimension. And when you tap into that other dimension, nothing can stop you. Absolutely nothing can stop you. And so the reticular activating system goes beyond the senses, goes beyond 3 dimensions and goes into the 5th dimension and other dimensions. And we've studied all the way to the 10th dimension. I don't think we're going to go that deep in here, because we need to keep it, pretty comfortable for everyone. But there are higher dimensions where everything is possible. And so you can tap into that when you start to really combine that centered place with that powerful vision. And again, just to share my vision with you is I want to create a really incredible place for people to connect with like minds and for the information, for the impact to be even greater than me. I want to create 1 million millionaires. And I know that number sounds kind of random. And what does that mean? For me, it means that the people that care, the people that want to do good, have the financial resources to be able to make the impact that they want to make. So my vision is to make an impact so other people can make an impact. And this is the first step in doing that. Well, not the first step. I've been doing this work for 30 years. But the first step in really creating that massive impact and reaching a greater audience versus just my mastermind and my coaching work. So if you'd like to schedule a call, please DM me. All right. So without further ado, I will let you all go. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Please pay attention to your emails and the Facebook group. And I look forward to getting to know all of you more. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.